Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you lay in your ground. You bustin' your rounds, nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you. Looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason? It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do, come back triple.
Hey, what's going on? It's your girl Kid out back in Ripple Effect. You already know what it is, and you already know the vibes. Shout out to all the supporters. You already know. Day ones, appreciate y'all. New subscribers, y'all coming with it. Listen, we get down here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna talk about it all. So, but let's get right into it. Playoffs are crazy. Jimmy buckets, right? Doing everything that he needs for his team. I know a lot of people are like, where is this at in the regular season? Like, where is this? Like, you just come alive. Like, I know he doesn't agree, but playoff Jimmy is a thing. Clearly, he takes his game to superstar level. People are talking about that performance that he had last night with 56 points. That was a much needed, must win type of game. If you want to beat down the Bucks and move on to the next level, that's it right there. Like, that was it. Jimmy showed us. He showed everybody. He showed me. He showed Miami. You know, I mean, incredible. And we find ourselves in this situation all the time. It's funny because I think Joy said it earlier on FS1. That's a good show, by the way. But yeah, why are we surprised? Like, this is what Jimmy does. This is what he does. He puts up big numbers when it matters most. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that what we want our stars to do? You know, of course we want them to play, you know what I mean, like in the regular season and get their numbers or whatever. But my thing is, if your team is winning, you know, you're above 500, that's really all you need to do. You know, as long as you get that chemistry together. Miami has been through their ups and downs, and they're probably coming in the right time. And I know it's sad about what happened to Victor Oladipo and everything that he's been through and coming back from that knee injury, and now he re-injures it and he's done for the season and he has to have surgery again. And you got to feel for that guy, but you know, he's a soldier, man. He's got that dog in him. He'll be back better than ever. It just sucks to see someone go through that, you know, after a long road of recovery, just to have to, you know, do that again. So hopefully he does talk to, you know, guys like Klay Thompson that had to deal with that, and not to mention figure out, you know, who the best surgeon is. You know, I know what these guys do is, you know, it's great work and it can't be easy. You know, sports medicine has evolved into something that is just crazy because, you know, years ago, you blow your Achilles, you know, your ACL, you're done. You know, it doesn't matter what sport it is. But now guys can sort of, you know, reinvent themselves, or they can at least have the opportunity to still be, you know, a professional athlete, which is obviously the goal. But a lot of these guys want to not only just still be, you know, a professional athlete, they want to be back to where they were. And in a lot of cases, you know, look at Klay. I mean, I know defensively he's probably not that same guy, but offensively he's letting y'all know, like, hey, you know, I'm not going. I took my time getting back, and now I'm here, and, you know, but Miami's definitely putting on a show, and we gotta respect it. Do I think Miami's gonna take this serious? That's hard to say. Giannis did come back. He had a great game. I mean, it's not gonna, you know, he didn't have like a 40-point game, but he did enough. But my thing is, Middleton, they gotta step up. Guys gotta do more. It can't just be one guy all the time, you know, like most people are saying. Hey, what does Giannis do? Giannis just came off an injury, and he looked great out there. Footwork, everything looked great. It was just Jimmy just came with it. I mean, the game was relatively, like, when you think about, if you was watching the game in the beginning, the Bucks looked like they had that. Like, it was nothing to talk about. If Jimmy didn't score that 20 points, like, it probably would have been over before, like, well over. You know, I mean, but they needed every bit of those points. It was like Jimmy had one point where he wasn't really able to put up any points, you know, at point blank range, you know, and that was like, oh man, you know, and that was like in the play-in, and you're like, man, if this guy can't shoot, Miami don't even have a chance. And they just looked all, just not together, just not playing together. The chemistry don't look right. They're not communicating on defense. It just looked like, all right, if we can't hit threes and we not playing, Tyler Hero in the beginning, wasn't really hitting. And now you see Duncan Robinson back into the lineup, and of course that makes a huge difference. But but statistically, Miami was one of the worst. I think they were like 27th, in 3-point shooting percentage. They were terrible, And now in the playoffs, like playoffs is a thing. A playoff Miami team, playoff Jimmy, whatever you want to call it, it's a thing. They're shooting like 47%, from three. It's just crazy, the way things just seem to click for certain teams. Like, how, even I've said it, like, you can't really just flick a switch. Like, you gotta somehow, be building that chemistry throughout the season and be working on different things throughout the, in the off season, and then make sure you be able to, that translates, during the season, and somehow you can, turn that into something really special. And I think that's what we're seeing right before our eyes. And you could even equate that to the Lakers and what they're doing. That's just something special. I know we can talk about LeBron James and what he's doing 20 years into the league. And it is. Don't get me wrong. Dylan Brooks asked, right? I don't respect you until you give me 40. Right? What did Shaq say? He gave you 22 points and he gave you 20 rebounds. There's your 40 right there. And he gave you some dimes too, man. Like, LeBron's just playing out. LeBron's just LeBron. I know we can't sit there and dismiss that and act like that's not anything, because obviously when he's gone, he will be missed, and nobody's going to be able to duplicate what LeBron said. And I'm sure somebody said that in the past. But, recency bias, what do you want from me? That's just what it is. LeBron is just a different type of beast, But, Austin Reeves, it was a collective effort. I know Anthony Davis wasn't, we're not going to shortchange it. He just wasn't himself for whatever reason. But he did hit those timely baskets toward the end. I know nobody wants to credit him for that, but yeah, if you want to say did LeBron bail him out, you know what I mean? Because if they had lost that game, it would have fell solely on Anthony Davis' shoulders. Yeah, you probably can say that, but it wasn't just him. Austin Reeves had a great game. Remember, this guy is going to be up for a big contract. Whether you think he deserves it or not, then that means you haven't been watching him. Austin Reeves is a straight baller. It just seems like he is a natural hooper out there. It's like, I don't even know where this guy came from, but his level has not changed. If anything, in terms of it has not gotten, he's just gotten exponentially better, even with the pressure. Because sometimes you think, oh, okay, with the pressure, the role players, at home they tend to play well, right? But on the road, especially when the pressure's really on and they relied on that shooting, dude is getting to the basket, aggressive. Everything you would want surrounded around LeBron. Shooters, right? Guys who play defense, guys who are engaged, those energy type of guys. That's what you're gonna need, because the playoffs is draining. You're gonna see guys out here just giving it all they got, and sometimes even that's not even enough. Hachimura, I can't say enough about him with his timely baskets and his shooting. D'Angelo Russell, I know a lot of people are not really talking about him because sometimes he gets into these shooting slumps, but if it's not for D'Angelo Russell, we're not talking about the Lakers the same way that we're talking about them right now. Like, those threes and the fact that he was able to make them consistently down the stretch when it was needed most. The confidence to be able to do that. Knowing, especially playing on the LeBron team, knowing, you got that purple and gold on. That stuff matters, man. That stuff means something. And he's taking it to a whole nother level. And you got to appreciate what he's doing. Because sometimes you can't just necessarily just look at the numbers and get discouraged by that for whatever reason. Because at the end of the day, it only matters what you do in those moments that impact winning. And if you're able to impact winning, like Dennis Schroeder, that was such a huge pickup. Rob Pelinka, listen, the world, with everybody calling for your head. Everybody. You gotta give props to this man. I was wrong. Those moves that he made, Well, it speaks for itself, but obviously I was wrong. Like, big time, big time. But he made those moves. He made it. I mean, I wasn't wrong when it was going down, but when he made those moves right before the trade deadline, and he surrounded LeBron around shooters, where he's been, you know, historically great. When you surround him with shooters, guys who will play defense, you know, because LeBron is not just gonna try to give you 40 and 50 every night. No, he's gonna get everybody involved. He's gonna make sure that he plays the game the right way, in a sense that whatever he does, whatever the game, no matter where it goes, he's gonna make sure his prints are all over it. Whether it's rebounding, blocks, assists, whatever is needed for his team to win. That's the type of guy that he is. And even at this level, even at 38 years old, this is what this man is capable of doing, and it's incredible. And you gotta give it up for him. But these NBA playoffs, they're crazy. If you're just now getting into this and you wasn't really a fan of basketball, but I think you're coming in at the right time. I mean, look at my Knicks, man. We just took a commanding lead on the Cavs, up 3-1. A lot of people didn't even have us winning this series. You know, maybe some people would say, oh, we'll go to 6, 7, you know, like thinking that they're trying to give us a shot, like we'll have a couple games. No, I knew we would win this series. I knew it would be hard fought. I thought it would be a lot longer, but if we do what we need to be doing, if we keep giving Obi Toppin minutes, if we keep on Randall in the sense of understanding that he was injured, like, guys, like, I know I made some jokes, and, you know, I cordially invited, you know, Julius Randle to the playoffs because I didn't think that he knew that he had the invitation, you know, because he wasn't really showing up. But it was all jokes. But at the end of the day, we know his man's hurt. We know his ankle was bothering him. But the body language, I wasn't feeling that. I didn't like the fact that, you know, he wasn't still trying to make an impact on the game. Like, whenever his shots weren't falling, I felt like his defensive, you know, it just, the posture, like, you know what I mean? The body language, like, it's just, it just looked like he was just kind of tuned out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of zoned out for whatever reason. I could be wrong, but I can only tell you what I'm seeing. And I'm glad that, you know, Coach Thibodeau had the, you know, the balls to be like, hey, yo, you're not playing in the fourth, bro, my man. Like, not playing like that. Not when I got Obi Toppin over here, not only playing defense, playing within the scheme. You know, shots are falling for him. You know, and it wasn't necessarily about the shots falling. Like, obviously, we need to have points, right? But it's just the body language. It's just, you saw the whole game change. You saw the way the Knicks kind of came together once he wasn't there. And don't get me wrong, we don't want that. We want Randall, Julius Randle. We want you. We want you to be yourself. But we understand, like, if you're injured, then, you know, then we can't have you being a liability. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then you got to take your breaks. Not saying that you can't obviously not play, but, you know, you take your timely breaks whenever you need it, and then you come back in and you give us whatever you got, and then when it's time to throw Obi in, then, you know, we'll just make that switch. Because you saw everything change. Brunson has been a stud. I can't speak enough about what he has done for this Knicks organization, because it's been him. And then his Villanova buddy, Josh Hart, making that, you know, I mean, the trades that were made, like, I mean, we're looking at greatness here. Like, this is what good GMs do. They find what your teams need at the last moment, you know, to make that last minute push. Excuse me, in the regular season, at the end of the regular season, going into the playoffs, being able to assess your team, knowing where all the holes are, what's needed, who would fit better with another team. You know, and that was with Cam Reddish, and I had mentioned that before. I told you guys, like, I know a lot of people were like, nah, why are we getting rid of Cam Reddish? He's great. He's this, he's that. And I agree with you. But here's the thing. Not every guy fits into a certain culture. Not the culture that Tibbs was trying to do. Nah, like, it's not easy. Playing for Coach Tibbs is not easy. It's not. I'm over here talking like I used to play ball. But I'm just telling you, because I not only watch a lot of interviews from older players that used to play, like Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose, like they'll tell you, like, it wasn't easy playing for this man. You know, they have respect for him, of course, but he runs them into the ground, so to speak, and he just has a certain offense. You know, he's very defensive minded. So you have to understand that, because even Mitchell Robinson was getting a little frustrated, right? Because he said that he felt like he was just doing cardio, just running up and down, you know, the court, because he didn't really feel like he had a place in the offense. But, you know, there's only one ball, right? There's only a certain amount of people that can shoot. And then when you're talking about who can actually shoot, who has a higher percentage, you know, everybody's not going to be able to shoot. And everybody's not getting that green light. That's for sure. Where he's going to get more of his points, you know, speaking of Mitchell, is more of the putbacks, you know, the offensive rebounding. Like, that's where you're going to have to get involved there. And you're needed. Like, that's needed, obviously. But just thinking about, you know, Cam Reddish and how he just didn't fit, I was like, no, we need more of a guy who doesn't care about how many shots that they get. You know, but when they're needed to do certain things, they'll just do it without question. You know, and that's why when they brought in Josh Hart, I'm like, that's the guy we need. Because not only is he not going to care, he's going to get the minutes because he's a hustle guy. He gets everybody involved. He's a great leader. If you need rebounding, he got you. If you need threes, I got that. You need me to guard the best player, I got that too in Donovan Mitchell. Like, it didn't matter. You know, one of those Swiss Army knife guys, like they like to call them. Like, those plug-and-play guys. Like, it just doesn't matter whatever scheme or whatever that they have. This guy is available, and he's able to do it. And you saw him kind of tweak, but you need guys like that on your team. Told you, like, those 3-and-D guys, you need them, especially if you're trying to make that long playoff push. Otherwise, it's just not going to last. You can't have a bunch of guys standing around wondering why they don't get the ball enough and why they can't shoot and why, you know, you don't need that. Everybody's got to be together on this. And I got to give a shout out to McBride. McBride did a heck of a job, you know, on defense. And whenever his number was called, he was right there. Because Donovan Mitchell did not have a good game. And don't get me wrong, because he's one of those guys that, you know, he's a superstar, man. He's going to get his. He's going to come back tomorrow night. And we got to be able to withstand whatever he throws at us. Because it's going to be a ton. It is. And I hope Tibbs and guys are watching film and see wherever they're able to make those adjustments, you know, and it may be giving McBride more minutes, you know, like, just sit back and see. And RJ Barrett, can't say enough about this guy. I know he received a lot of heat, and sometimes, you know what, you can't even sometimes apologize for things like that, because maybe that was what was needed, because it worked, right? I mean, we don't know what type of game he was going to have if it wasn't needed, if all that pressure wasn't on you. Sometimes, you know, like they say, pressure buffs pipes, man. Pressures make diamonds. Like, you gotta see what you have. You know, I gotta see what this guy's made of. And a lot of times you find out what a guy's truly made of when you put under pressure. And I think that's what happened. The Garden, New York City, if you're from there, you know. Other people, if you're not from New York City or you just kind of heard about it, listen, New Yorkers are different. They're different. And listen, if you're not from there, and obviously RJ Barrett is from Canada, it's rough. You're either gonna get eaten up or you're gonna figure out how to adapt, and you're gonna thrive. Like, that's just kind of how it is. And you saw how Julius Randle kind of got into it with the fans, you know, last year, and how he was having his troubles. But you see how he kind of adapted and sort of kind of understood, like, okay, this is just a culture here. Like, it's nothing personal. Like, I know guys like to take things personal, and rightfully so. It's your livelihood. This is what you do, and you used to be called great all the time. But New York is not like that, dude. If you're having a bad game, the New York crowd will boo you. They will let you know. You're going to feel like you're playing away, right? Like, that's just how it is. Like, I know I've been to plenty of Knicks games before. I'm not necessarily that type of fan, but I understand the environment, though. I understand that's kind of how it is. Me personally, I'm not booing my own team like that. That's just crazy. I'll get mad. You know, I might break a thing or two around my own house, but I'm not gonna be doing all that at the game, though. At the game, nah, you just sit there and sulk. Like, you know, that's just, it is what it is, you know. But yeah, if we can get Julius Randle, if he can give us anything, if he could just give us a better mindset, that will help us exponentially. Because I can tell you right now, whatever the Cavs got brewing, you know, Bickerstaff, like, in that organization, like, they have a nice culture there too. Like, don't get it twisted. They have something special there. Jared Allen, Garland, them boys, they're coming, and we gotta be able to we gotta be able to give them something back. You know, we gotta be able to withstand it. Like I said, playoffs, it's a game of runs. So when they make their run, we gotta be able to just be right there with them. We gotta make our shots. We have to take those timely shots. We have to set up, keep the ball moving. You know, we have such a big problem with that. Sometimes, you know, when Randall's in the game, it just becomes like an isolation, right? And it just becomes like a one-on-one thing, and that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Not all the time. I can promise you that. That's just not even today's game. Because then if they keep going down the court and hitting threes, we're still going to be down. Like, it's going to look like we're in it, but no, like, we're going to be out of it, you know, before we can even even really think about it. Like, that's not what you want. I can tell you that right now. We have to be patient on offense, or we have to understand that if our shots don't go in, it's not the end of the world. Rebound. That should be the first thing on your mind. Don't sweat it. Your shot doesn't go in. It's not going to go in all the time. And if you can't get the rebound, make sure you get your butt back there on defense, you know, and make sure that they don't get it. You know, steals. The way we was getting steals like that. Things like that are huge. Turning, you know, defense into offense. That's how we go on our runs. That's how we get their crowd out of it, because you know their crowd is going to be pumped. You know, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Like, I'm definitely going to have to make a trip to New York. We make it the second round, I'm going to have to make a trip to New York and pop up at a game, because I haven't seen the Garden this electrified in so long. And it's great. And it's like, as a New York fan, you don't want to get too excited, you know, and it was kind of like with the Aaron Rodgers, you know, trade that was like on hold. But, you know, the Jets, they knew they were going to get Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers said he wanted to play there. But even then, New Yorkers did not want to get too excited. They just couldn't do it yet, because when you're so used to getting let down, there's no way you are counting, you know, your chicks before they hatch. You're going to be like, nah, I'm going to wait. I'm not messing around. But today, y'all got y'all wish. Aaron Rodgers, he's definitely officially a New York Jet. I know Jets fans everywhere are rejoicing. Some people are hating. Some people are saying, is it a championship or bust year? Of course they're going to say all that. Who cares? You guys have Aaron Rodgers. It's way better than what you had. That's it. This is a 4-time MVP, league MVP? Come on, man. But you get what I mean. Point is, New York has been waiting so long to get out of the first round. And it would be nice if we did. It would be nice, you know, to either play the Bucks or Miami. Some people ask me, like, which one would you rather play? I don't know, man. I'm going to be honest. Probably Miami. Why? Because we don't have an answer for Giannis. Giannis is going to have a field day with us. I don't need him averaging 50. You know, like sending us home in a sweep. You know, I'm exaggerating, obviously. But, yeah, I think I would rather Miami. I think that would be a better matchup for us. You know. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy about New York. I'm happy about the way things are going. For now, because I'm not gonna go there, because I know everybody. I'm mad I even entertained that about the second round, because we gotta win this game tomorrow. If we don't win this game tomorrow, then we're gonna be in it for the long haul. And I know that's what I predicted, but I'm really hoping I'm wrong about that one, because I don't want to see, you know, Donovan Mitchell go for 50 tomorrow, you know, especially knowing that he watches the games too. And he's a fan. I know he was probably watching Jimmy Butler like, oh, look what he did with the Miami Heat, willing his way. Even with Giannis back, it didn't matter. He kind of, you know, and this is his elimination game, you know, and you know everybody's going to be talking about him and how we were able to do this, you know how it is. So, but speaking of which, so I guess the Golden State Warriors woke up, huh? But we knew that was going to happen. I know a lot of people are saying this series is over because De'Aaron Fox, he fractured his hand. I know, his finger. I know. I'm not gonna say it's over. They are saying he is going to play. It's not going to be pretty, I don't think, unless it's. But then again, I don't know because John Morant is playing out of his mind, playing out of his mind. Even though he had his hand hurt, and at one time it looked like he couldn't catch the ball, and now all of a sudden he's like putting up 45 and just throwing himself all over the place, dunking the ball on people. I'm like, oh, speaking of which, when Jimmy Butler dunked the ball on Anthony Davis, Anthony Davis, I'm bugging, on Giannis, I was like, oh, that's how I knew that game was over. But I think Anthony Davis didn't he get dunked on now? I don't know. Y'all can follow me in the comments. Like, let me know what that play was about and why I'm thinking about him getting dunked on. But anyway, yeah, the Kings, man. I just didn't believe that they were gonna beat the Golden State Warriors anyway. I just didn't believe it. Did I think that they were probably gonna take them to like 6 or 7 games? Yeah, I could see that happening. Just because Mike Brown, being an assistant coach of Steve Kerr for 6 years, he may understand these players to some degree, and not to mention the culture that he built there with those guys. Like they're just playing really, really well, and it's kind of hard to stop a team like that that's just young and don't know enough to be scared. Because you saw the way De'Aaron Fox was talking to Draymond. He was definitely talking to him like, I don't care who you are, I don't care how many championships you won, what's that mean to me? Like, but the rest of the team's got to step up. If De'Aaron Fox is not going to be at 100%, everybody's got to step up. Sabonis got to step up. Everybody, it's going to be all hands on deck, because I don't even feel like the whole team of the Golden State Warriors was playing well. And you can kind of tell what they were doing too. I didn't think that was by accident, because, when they had Draymond coming off the bench, Steve Kerr, he's always got something up his sleeve, right? And then all of a sudden it seemed like at one point Draymond Green was the focal point of the offense. That was not by accident. I think that was to definitely throw Mike Brown off, and even the rest of the Kings, because they kind of just didn't. They were like, yeah, Draymond isn't going to shoot that 3. Oh, he shot the 3. Oh, he made the 3. Oh, okay. All right. So maybe that was just a fluke. He happened to be open. Maybe he just wanted to take the 3. And then all of a sudden you just see him becoming more of the focal point, of the offense. And you're just like, wait, was that a play for Draymond? Like, but that was a good game. That was a really good game. I wanted to tell you guys like what happened, that last sequence. Well, I'm not going to get too hard on Steph, right? Steph admitted it. He did one of those, Chris Webber, I thought we had a timeout, but we didn't. I forgot we just, it was the coach's challenge. They did the coach's challenge. They lost the challenge, so, he lost the timeout. So, I guess Steph didn't realize that, and he got trapped and then called timeout. So, what happened was, technical foul. They made it. They had the ball. They shot a 3. They made it. Like, it was, the Kings had everything they needed to win that game. Everything. I mean, you couldn't have made it any better than that, right? I mean, the Warriors, they were at the mercy of the Kings missing. That's really what and the way De'Aaron Fox was playing, I was like, Golden State's in trouble. I was literally watching that last play like they're in trouble. And what did they do? Why did you let this screen come? Like, why? De'Aaron Fox should have just went one-on-one, crossed them up, step back 3, cash money. And we having a totally different conversation. No. He ends up getting trapped because the screen was trying to be set. And then he throws it to Harrison Barnes, which I get it, because he can shoot 3s, and maybe he might have a little, a little hostility towards the Warriors, because remember, once upon a time when they wanted Kevin Durant, when Draymond made that phone call in the parking lot. So, after that Cavs, when they won in the championship, and that was such a crazy, season. And he was saying how bad that, yo, we need you to win. We can't beat, Kyrie and LeBron without you. We need you. Now, Draymond said that he went to management and said, listen, we need this guy. I don't know how you're going to get him. We need him. According to him, he didn't say, oh, we need to trade Harrison Barnes. And, he according to him, he didn't say how it needed to get done. He just said it needed to get done. Well, anyway, it did get done, as you know. They won some 2 championships out of it. Almost 3, but they only won 2. Kawhi had other plans, and so did Kevin Durant's injury and with Achilles, and Clay's injury as well. But anyway, Kawhi. Harrison Barnes ended up getting traded. So from Draymond, I guess he still takes that personal, and so, he had a little, so I guess it would have been nice for him to hit that 3 to kind of really kind of stick it to the Golden State Warriors. Like, wow, like, you guys, I got y'all on the ropes. It would, and he's been contributing all throughout the series. So it's not like he's just now shooting threes, like, we're relying on him. Like, he's been making them. He's been knocking them down, for sure. But, I'm sorry, in that moment, you want your best player. No. You want your most clutch player. No. You want the best clutch player in the league this year shooting that 3, which was De'Aaron Fox. That's where they went wrong. I mean, you're not going to get too many mental mistakes. Like, the Golden State Warriors are not going to beat themselves up. Like, you guys, that was like a gift wrapped. Like, you're not going to get that again. That's the thing when you're playing a 4-time, championship team and a very highly experienced team. Their situational awareness is usually on point. They'll go through the game and make the most ridiculous turnovers, and sometimes you're just like, I don't understand why these guys like it the hard way, but they do. They like it. They don't want it easy. But that was a gift, and I think them missing out on that, that's why I really don't believe the Kings really have a chance, because that was that moment. Those details, those little things, that's how you beat teams like that. Because the thing is, they're not going to make many of those mistakes. They're just not. They've been there too many times. So, but we'll see. There's still plenty of playoffs left. Denver was fooling around, but shout out to Ant-Man for not wanting to get swept, wanting a better series than that, or a better story as he calls it. Shout out to him. As you know, Brooklyn already got eliminated. So Philly's resting. So right now I'm watching Boston and Atlanta currently. They're up by 10, 76-66, right? Boston is doing their thing, but DeJounte Murray's not even playing because, as you know, he got suspended, bumping into that ref at the end of Game 4. He even admitted to full responsibility, saying, like, yeah, that wasn't cool. I shouldn't have did that. But he also did tell us that I'm taking responsibility, for my actions. And he said that we also have history with that particular ref dating back to when he was with the Spurs. So he also felt like that ref should have should have been held accountable as well, because he said that there was a few things that he was trying to communicate to the ref throughout the game, and the ref just kept blowing him off and really just didn't engage with him, like an adult. He didn't talk to him, just kind of brushed him off like he was just some kid, or just didn't even give him the time of day. And I guess he felt some type of way about that, and that's why that happened. But he ultimately took full responsibility, and that's why he's not playing in this game. But you know what? Trae Young and these boys are keeping it close. Bogdanovich, all these guys, they're not just laying down. John Collins. So it's Herter. So it'll be nice to see what happens. But if Boston keeps playing around, man, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that they're not going to win this series. They are, but Boston is supposed to be a championship contender. So I'm saying, I don't know, like, how do you expect to be a championship contender when you're playing around with, with the Hawks? And that's no disrespect to the Hawks, but come on. They don't even have DeJounte Murray And even if they did, come on, what are we even talking about, right? All I know is, go Knicks. Shout outs to the Jets. That's what's up. You guys deserved it. I'll give you that. My Giants, Saquon is not taking that franchise tag, and nor should he. I stand with Saquon. I'm a Giants fan, but I stand with Saquon. Some people will say the market, this, that. Listen, we would be nowhere. You listen to me? You go ahead and believe that Danny Dimes is the reason why we won that one playoff game, or even got to the point where we were even in the playoffs. You go ahead and believe that. I will not. I stand by Saquon. Saquon should be setting the market on that team, but he wasn't. When you have two players to pay, two players to pay, sound like kind of crazy. Ultimately, yeah, one is going to get the franchise tag and the other one is going to get paid, right? But you know how it is. Quarterback, running back, definitely very, very two different things in terms of the market, in terms of how those positions are viewed and how valuable and how in longevity. We all understand that. But come on. Come on. We're not talking about an MVP caliber quarterback, though. No disrespect to any Dimes, but you know where I'm going with this. But shout out to you for getting your bread. Like, you're supposed to do that. Like, that's kind of what you're supposed to do. So, anyway, mad at that. But I can't wait. New York, stand up. We taking it home tomorrow. Okay? And I don't mean taking it home like we're going to lose tomorrow and have to go back to New York. No. I mean, we're going to go into Cleveland. We're going to go into a hostile environment. We're going to understand that pressure is privilege. New York, fans all around have been waiting for this day for far too long. And the wait will be over. We should be going on to the second round. You heard it here first. I only ask God to do one thing. Just remember this. Losses equals life lessons. Peace.
Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you lay in your ground. You bustin' your rounds, nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you. Looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason. It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do, come back triple.